want to delve deeper into those agreements that were signed yesterday among the provinces, and we're pleased to be joined by Premier Susan Holt in Fredericton. Premier, it's nice to see you. How will New Brunswickers benefit from those memoranda of understanding that were signed yesterday?
Well, the New Brunswickers are going to benefit from now having access to 16 million Ontarians that they can sell their goods and services to without needing Ontario-specific labeling or Ontario or federal inspection or some of the other pieces that are in place that are different between our two provinces, that they can take their goods and services and sell them directly into Ontario without further barriers. So that's going to save time, it's going to save money, and it's going to give our entrepreneurs access to a lot more clients.
Can you remove regulations and barriers one by one, or do you need to introduce a broader legislation to make that happen?
No, because we are agreeing to mutually recognize each other's things. We essentially say that if it has an Ontario label or an Ontario inspection, it's good here in New Brunswick. And so that can be done in regulation. It can be done by removal of exemptions. And so we are eager to see more New Brunswick products on Ontario shelves.
Will that be done uniformly, or perhaps say with Ontario quicker than Nova Scotia, or vice versa, or is it even playing field?
Well, this is an agreement that we've struck with Ontario, so they're going to recognize New Brunswick products, and we're going to recognize Ontario products, and we've both signed on to very similar labor mobility pieces, as well as the direct-to-consumer alcohol policy that New Brunswickers have been asking for, that Ontarians have been asking for. So there's a couple pieces where we had legislation required, but otherwise it's a blanket application to goods and services that move between New Brunswick and Ontario.
And when would you expect something similar with Nova Scotia?
We're working on that conversation with Nova Scotia and with PEI and with Newfoundland, because we'd really love to see an Atlantic free trade zone here. It's something that I proposed a couple months ago to my colleagues to see if we could all get on exactly the same page and have maybe one agreement between the four of us rather than four different agreements between all of the provinces on what we can all agree to accept and move between this region of neighbors and good friends that we call Atlantic Canada.
There are some exemptions. Seafood and forestry, for example, seem to be off the table. Why is that?
Forestry right now is one where we have crown lands, where we invest a lot of public dollars into making sure that we grow amazing, healthy trees that make some of the best lumber in the world. And we right now seek to get a benefit from our beautiful trees directly in New Brunswick, and we request that processing happen here. It's actually not the same for seafood. So some provinces have local processing requirements for seafood, and so we have to look at who's prepared to reciprocate where on that front. But we're looking forward actually to getting a lot of New Brunswick seafood into Ontario, and we're looking really closely at the impacts of what might happen should we remove the requirement for local processing of our crown wood. So that's something that's under consideration right now. We want to make sure that we look really carefully at what those economic impacts are, because New Brunswickers love our trees. We're pretty proud of our forestry sector, and it returns a lot of economic value to our province, as well as we export a lot of that product in many different formats around the world. So we want to be really careful about the positive economic opportunities from these decisions, as well as what might be negative impacts.
You're not worried that might hold up freer trade?
Well, it's a balance. We have to make sure that we're moving as far as we can, as fast as we can. It's about making progress. And so I want to, all the things that are the easy yeses, let's do them and get them done. Some of the stickier things that need a careful look, we want to take a careful look with and make sure that we are, we in Atlantic Canada, we are a resource economy in a lot of our provinces. And we're often the little guys in Canada. And so I want to make sure that we've got New Brunswickers back. We're making decisions that give them the best access to markets, while also protect our valuable industries here in a way that's really balanced.
Let me ask you about liquor, because we often hear about that when we talk about interprovincial trade barriers, and we heard about direct-to-customer sales. What exactly does that look like? Will we see craft beer from Ontario, for example, in New Brunswick alcohol in grocery stores, or is this directly through orders? How does that break down?
So it's direct to consumer. It means that New Brunswickers will be able to order from Ontario producers and have that product shipped directly to their door. And Ontarians can order directly from New Brunswick producers and have those products shipped directly to their door. So it's a real opportunity for New Brunswick's amazing craft alcohol sector that has been growing. We've long been known as the craft beer capital of Canada, although we have amazing spirits and wine products and others as well. And now we'll be able to get those to Ontarians because I think many producers in the Maritimes would know how challenging it can be to get listed at LCBO, the volumes that you need to have, the distribution that you need to have to be able to fill shelves in the number of their stores. But now we can go direct to the consumer and supply them with the amazing craft alcohol products that are made right here in New Brunswick.
Premier Holt, thank you for your time. Appreciate this ahead of a long weekend, and have a nice weekend, and we'll speak soon, I'm sure.
Thank you very much. Happy Easter.
Thank you. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more of your local news after this.